We all want to be here in the happy place. But this is where I spent most of my adult life. I wanted to be there. But to get there, I had to push through this barrier. So I stayed here. Contest chair, fellow Toastmasters, and welcome guest, and everyone else behind the barrier of fear. I have a story for you tonight about breaking through a barrier. Now, I like the protagonist in this story, although I find him to be so careful. He's annoying. And of course, that person is me. When I was a kid, I loved to perform. There was no barriers to push through. Whenever the teacher would ask for a volunteer for a speaking role, my hand would go up. I emceed assemblies. I was either Joseph or a shepherd in pretty well every Christmas play. I think it's because I looked really hot in a bathrobe. In university, I played bass and sang in rock bands, had long hair, platform shoes, just like the guys in Deep Purple. Oh yes, for you young people, Deep Purple was a rock group, not a shade of lipstick. Fast forward 25 years, I'm a PR guy, negotiating contracts, executing strategies. Oh, my performer self? Put him on a shelf. I was focused on making money. And I did. But as my boys got older, I felt muted, careful. I wanted to rediscover some of that childlike joy and freedom. So I went into coaching. Yeah. And I would market myself through speaking. Yeah. But when I brought the performer self off the shelf, he was a nervous Nelly. As the song goes, he was an adult now, self-conscious about doing it right, worried, am I doing this okay? Sometimes when giving a talk, my chest and my neck would just clench in fear. I thought I was going to die. I was pushed right up against my barrier. I thought, I can't do this. I didn't even play music anymore. Didn't sing, certainly not publicly. The clench kept me muted, careful. Kept me from pushing through my barriers. In 2018, I met someone who inspired me to run towards those things that scared me. Fittingly enough, a teacher, an improv teacher, Hayley Kellet, co-owner of the Making Box Comedy Club in Guelph. Hayley created an environment of freedom. Now, improvising in Hayley's classes was so much fun, but performing in the public showcases was magical. Now, as we were preparing for a showcase, Hayley asked for volunteers for Irish drinking song. Now, my name is O'Connor, but like an out-of-body experience, my arm shot up. Okay, Tim, Hayley shouted. The clench. Backstage at the showcase, I tried to keep the clench under control by focusing on my breathing. I sounded like a whale. And then Hayley announced, Irish drinking song. And I jumped up on that stage, I opened my mouth and words came out. I-dee-di-dee-di-dee-di-dee, I went to the bakery to get myself a cake. And back and forth it went between our fellow improvisers, and then it was over. And we jumped off that stage. And my heart was pounding out of my chest. We were so happy, high-fiving each other. And in the days that followed, I realized I'd been through a transformational experience. I pushed through a barrier, but I made a discovery. It wasn't about being happy. It was about freedom. Freedom to go into that adult world with a sense of play and trust like a child. Now, I'm still annoyingly careful. And when I'm on a stage or a screen, I'm nervous, but it's not like I'm going to die. I'm playing bass again in a punk band and singing. Yes, old punkers. With Hayley's help, I've rediscovered some of my childhood joy and freedom. And I say some because there's many more barriers to push through. But when we do, something magical happens. We realize we weren't dead. We were just on a shelf. And in fact, we're more alive than we've ever been. So I ask you, are you ready to push through your barriers? Contest chair.